the Murph Workout. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. And if you struggle with pull-ups and push-ups, I'm going to give you every resource on the planet so that you can succeed and crush this year's Murph. What's up, guys? It's Kevin Andres, owner of K-Squared Fitness, and today we're going to show you our best tips, tactics, and strategies on how to crush the Murph Workout. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to smash that like button. Let's get into it. All right, so if you're thinking, what is the actual Murph workout? Fully partitioned, it's a 1 mile run, it's 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 bodyweight squats, and then you finish with the 1 mile run. The fellas wear a 20-pound weighted vest, and the ladies, this is Katie's, wear a 14-pound vest. So that is the Murph workout to its fullest. Now, if this is your very first Murph workout, I do not recommend doing that because although it's very simple and basic calisthenic movements, it can really be a lot on your upper body. So I would recommend 2 different variations. One, you can split all the reps in half, make it an 800-meter run, 50, 100, and 150, and 800-meter run. Or another very popular variation is partition style, doing it Cindy, which is run a mile and then you get back up and you you break everything into manageable sets. 20 rounds of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 bodyweight squats. You do that 20 times, and then you finish with your mile run. The Cindy partition does a couple of things in your head. It makes it to where everything feels manageable, and you can check things off. I can do 5, I can do 10, I can do 15. If you're thinking that those numbers are way too overwhelming, it's a lot of pull-ups, and I can't do very many of them, don't worry, we're gonna have plenty of drills and exercise that'll help you crush it on the pull-ups and the push-ups. So one of the first recommendations that I have for you for attacking your pull-ups and your push-ups is it's all about planning and gradually progressing. So I would suggest you download our 6-week guide that's going to gradually progress you and build up the volume before you go into Murph. That's free. We'll have a link down in the description below. Let's go over some pull-up drills and you can determine what level you are. We'll have a full tutorial on each movement. But the very first one, you come back from your run, if you're able to kip, this is what you're gonna be doing. Kipping pull-ups, trying to get into the rhythm. Using your hips to pop you through. If you need a full tutorial, we'll have the description below. If you're thinking, what the heck is going on here, flopping on the bar, doing the strict pull-ups is fine, just know that they're gonna be a lot more difficult. This is another option for you. I encourage you to break them up into small sets, but if you're doing strict pull-ups, you probably have no issue with that. If you're another person who wants to still do all the reps, maybe it's your first time, but you still want to get a good challenge, the jumping chest to bar is a really good option. Measure your bar to be just about hand width or hand height over your head, and that'll be a good distance for you. Arms are locked out, jump up, smack your chest, is a really good alternative. Again, we'll have full tutorials for all this to go. Banded pull-up is another good option. Get a good thick band that'll allow you to get about 10 reps or so. Don't make it to where the pull-ups you're getting 2s and 3s, it'll take you all day. And that's really the purpose of these different levels. Sure, if you can do 2 strict pull-ups, you can do a pull-up, but the purpose of it is to get the intensity that you're able to keep moving and get a good amount of reps. Let's say if you don't have a pull-up bar, maybe you've got a pair of rings or maybe you have some bands. Some good variations are if you have rings and you want a good challenge, you can elevate yourself, pull up here for elevated rows, or if that's too difficult and you're really just trying to get a good back exercise, the ring rows itself is a good idea. You get the point. It doesn't have to always be exactly what it says. You're trying to think greater than what you're capable of doing and doing this because it's a Memorial Day workout, embracing it for what the soldiers have done for us. So do 100 of whatever your variation is, and that's gonna be great. Do what's best for you. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. Although I'm really good at pull-ups, in fact, in a competition I did 82 one time at once. The push-ups for me are super challenging. So this to me is where I gotta buckle down, and I'm gonna show you some different variations for you, because maybe push-ups hurt your shoulders, or maybe you can't do them for whatever reason. We'll have video tutorials just above so you can break down the form as you need it, but just a quick reminder so you don't tear up your shoulder. Make sure that your elbows aren't going out and that you are, from your hands, actually screwing your lats and your shoulders back into place so that when you hit your push-ups, your elbows are going back. If you go out here, it's gonna get a lot of business and pain on your shoulders, especially after you just cranked out a bunch of pull-ups. So first thing, the push-up drills, if you can get those, manage your sets. If push-ups just aren't there for you yet, I would encourage you to do something like this. Maybe you can control down and then push up on your knees would be the next level that I'd say. Just trying to manage your reps, because you still want to be able to get a good challenge and not just drop down to your knees. You actually get stronger over time if you control down and then push up on the knee. Third thing I'd recommend you doing is an elevated push-up. The higher the box, the easier. The lower, the harder it's going to be. So maybe since it's a Memorial Day workout, you start off challenging yourself a little bit more. Maybe you start on low box. Same principles apply. Elbows are locked in. Maybe you try to do your first 100 that way, and then you flip it up here for another challenge. If the push-ups are just really bothering your shoulders, or if you can't do them for any reason, just get dumbbells, and they're actually a great baseline for you to strengthen your chest and your triceps, all that. Anyway, elbows tucked in just like with a push-up, and crank these guys out here. For fellas, use somewhere between 35 and 50 pounds. Ladies, try to get somewhere between 20 and 35 pounds depending on your strength. So those are some different levels and variations of the push-ups that allow you to still get the workout, but you're doing it for your level. We talk about that all the time in our training programs at ksquarefitness.com. Let's now talk about a couple of workout or push-up workouts that you can do along with our 6-week training plan that we're going to be giving to you guys. That's a really spicy, fun one to do. So you chose your level, whatever level you're going to be at. I want you to set a timer for 30 seconds. Maybe you're doing the elevated, maybe you're just doing regular push-ups. Get your stopwatch out, get your phone, and then you're gonna start at 12 reps of whatever exercise you can do 12 of. On the floor, on the bench, or the box with the dumbbells. And then every 30 seconds, we're gonna gradually hit 2 less push-ups or your variation. So press start on the timer, crank out 12 push-ups. When the timer hits 30 seconds, you're gonna hit 10 push-ups. When the timer hits the next 30 seconds, 8, 6, 4, etc. As you go down, and when that timer hits or when you get down to 0 on your last set, I want you to do a hold at the top, a hand plank for 60 seconds. That little series can be done in 5 minutes. It's a great way to start your morning workout. Add that into your daily routine so you can get a good variation of intensity in a short amount of time. All right, guys, so I have another push-up workout that I want you to try. Every 20 seconds this time, so it's a little quicker. Set your phone up or your stopwatch, and you're gonna move every time the clock hits 20, 40, 60, 120, have your timer go off. So you're gonna complete this 4 times through, 12, 10, 8. First one is gonna be elevated dips. 12 times, start your timer. Get 12 of them. Rest until the clock hits 20 seconds, and then you're gonna go into your push-up variation for 10. 12 dips, when the clock hits 20, 10 push-ups. When the clock hits 40, you're getting the idea. Every 20 seconds, it's like a whistle blowing. Your coach is saying, go, and that's when I want you to move. Last one, you're gonna go to the bottom of your push-up in small little pulses. Just like with all the other exercises we've gone over, doesn't have to be on the floor. If you gotta do them on the box, that's totally fine. The idea is to be able to get the intensity so that you can keep moving. So you go through 12, 10, 8. every 20 seconds for 4 times through. After 4 sets, I want you to go and move this to a 30-second clock. So you move every 30 seconds. Go 20 seconds at the top, hand plank position. When the clock hits 30, go into the bottom. 20-second bottom position hold. I encourage you to write this out on the whiteboard. That way you can just follow it down like we have. Let's talk about now how to actually complete the workout. So the first thing you have is a run. I want you to remain very patient. You have a long workout ahead of you. This is not about who comes back on the first run first. If you're an advanced athlete, don't get competitive with your buddy. Look to finish around, depending on your running level, maybe 7 to 8 to 10 minutes. And that's gonna be comfortable for you, not going out too hot and then blowing up and then not able to bring your heart rate down. If you're an intermediate person, try to remain consistent and come in on your run around 10 to 12 minutes. And if you're a beginner athlete, don't even worry about the time, but don't get too excited with yourself and go out so hot on the first run, because remember, there's a whole nother run on the end of the workout, and if you want to finish strong and go fast there, that's fine. The idea of this first portion is to remain calm. Don't let the excitement and the nerves doing this with all your friends get ahead of you. Stay patient and breathing. Get into a good breathing pattern as you're running before you get into the pull-ups. So on the pull-ups, remember, I want you to choose whatever level that you're doing is best for you, whether it's the kip, whether it's strict, the band, or jump. Do what's best for you, and everybody needs to have small, manageable sets. Even though I'm really good at pull-ups, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go out and do 30 or 40 in a row. It's all about getting into a good breathing pattern and finding consistency when you rest. In fact, one of the best things that I like to do is if I have a running clock on my stopwatch or on a clock in your gym, is look at the time. Maybe you do, I always like to gauge things on feel. So I get up there, see how I'm feeling. If I get fatigued around X, maybe I stop around Y. So get a gauge of that and then look at the clock and say, all right, I'm gonna go in 15 seconds. I'm gonna go in 15 seconds. I go again, I'm gonna go in 15 seconds. As you get more fatigued, maybe you drop it down to 20 for as long as you can, etc. That's one strategy that I do, is making myself go on a specific timer so I keep my rest consistent. That way I'm not walking around, shaking my arms out, toweling off. I'm staying focused and I'm staying consistent on my time. That's one thing. The other thing that I do on a longer workout is if I do a couple pull-ups, I'll work on my breath count. Take 3 breaths, trying to get them from the belly, trying to get them from my nose, and then get straight back into it. So whatever level you're doing for you, find the timer and be consistent, or count your breaths and try to do this if you're doing with a partner. All right, let's go. Try to be consistent, push each other, and that's how to tackle the pull-ups. Okay, so the pull-ups, if you were able to go every minute on the minute, maybe you got 10 per minute, you're looking at a 10-minute block there. So maybe your run took you around 10 minutes. Can the pull-ups, can you get those done in 10 minutes? And then on to the push-ups. A couple of things with the push-ups. You wanna have something that's gonna encourage your mind to keep moving and working towards something. So one thing that I do is I'll find markers on the floor, chalk out an X, chalk out an X, chalk out an X, and make myself move forward every 25 reps. That way there's a sense of progress, not only mentally versus just being down here and just dying like I just about did last year in the barn that we did at my friend's house. So have something that gets you up, do 25, get moving, and hydration is going to be extremely important during this piece. Taking things like electrolytes with water. I like this product from Whole Foods called, I think they're Noon tablets. Make sure that you're getting lots of hydration, because the push-ups can get very small reps for even really fit people. One thing that I'm going to try to do, and I'll encourage you to do the same, as always, finding a number to commit to that's going to allow you to stay focused and committed so that you can drive forward mentally. Maybe you start off with doing sets of 20s, 15s, 10s, and 5. That's one thing you can do, or one thing you can do. Or something that I'll probably do is I'll say, hey, how many times can I do 10s? Same concept with the clock. Hey, I'm gonna go every 15 seconds, or I'm gonna take 3 breaths and move. How many times can I do 9? How many times can I do 8? How many times can I do 7? And work that ladder down. That way, mentally, I'm able to focus on something and commit to a number. Because no matter who you are, you're gonna get down to sets of 3s and 4s and 5s. That's just how it is. It's a lot of reps and it's very challenging. So you just finished all the push-ups, and now we're into the final stretch. I like to think, because the run is the run, but here you gotta be consistent again. Same concept applies. I recommend that you chalk out something, find some lines, find some cones or whatever, and make your marks every 50 reps so you move forward, so you get that sense of accomplishment and progress with your squats. Katie is the king of this, or the queen of this section. She just blasts them out. For me, I can't do that. And if you're anything like me, my lower back starts to get lit up when I'm doing a lot of squats. So you gotta make sure before you start your workout that you are getting your calves super stretched out. Find somewhere to stretch them, foam roll your calves, stretch your calves, get some dorsiflexion going on here. We'll have some tutorials on that piece here, because if you have tight calves, you're not gonna be able to get into a deep squat because you're gonna be stuck here. So make sure a reminder that you got your toes turned out and you're trying to drive your knees out and use your hands to counterbalance you, and make sure that at the top you are pushing your hips through so that your back isn't getting tired. Stretch out the calves, make sure they're nice and loose before you get started with the workout, and then push the hips through. 300 squats is a lot. So the same thing like I've talked about, and we talk about this in all of our training programs, breathing matters. Try to simplify things in your head, and as you get into a rhythm, maybe you're able to go down to nasal breathing only, breathing through your nose, and just think about, I'm gonna breathe 25 times. Because when I think about, I'm just gonna take 25 breaths, that doesn't sound as overwhelming to me as I gotta do 25 reps. I think about, I can breathe 25 times, and that helps to remind me I need to be breathing. A lot of times with these workouts, people just forget to breathe, they get headaches, they're all out of, they're running out of oxygen in their head, so it helps remind you to breathe. So just make sure whenever you're doing your squats, just like I've talked about all day long, get into a good breathing pattern and work on that progress. Get your 50, get your move forward, etc. Just like always, find a number that you can commit to and then move forward. Commit to a number, move forward, because you're gonna get fatigued, your legs are gonna burn, your back is gonna burn, but just keep pushing forward, because then you get to shake them out on that last mile. And here's some of the things that I tell myself as I go through the last mile. When I'm going, if the first mile took me, I took a note, it took me 11 minutes and 30 seconds. On that back half, I'll say, hey, I'm tired, starting to do a little bit of math in my head, maybe it'll take me 13 minutes or 15 minutes. So the first thing I'm gonna tell myself as I start running is, all right, I got about 15 minutes left worth of effort. I can work hard for 15 minutes. I can move for 15 minutes. I can work hard for 5 minutes at a time. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and then I'll finish strong. Lots of different positive self-talk going on in your head. Maybe for you, it's getting a buddy and pairing up with them, say, hey, let's push this and let's go. Maybe it's every time you run past a tree, you pick it up just a little bit more. Or again, back to one of my breathing pieces, one of my favorite things to do is, as I'm running, counting my breaths, right? Counting up to 10, back down to 1, count up to 12, back down to 1, 14, back up to 1, and I'll do that for as long as I can until I finish the run, because again, what it does is it helps you stay consistent with your breathing. It takes your mind and helps you focus on something other than the run and dragging through it, and it helps you push forward and stay strong. As you finish out the run, it's Murph. Whatever you gotta do, finish strong. It's the workout of the year. That's one of my favorite. It's a tough workout, so even if you walked it, when you see that last 100 meters, let it fly. Go for it, send it, do everything you can to absolutely crush it. Today we share with you all of our best tips, tactics, and strategies so that you can crush the Murph workout. Down in the description below, we've got a 6-week training guide that'll gradually progress you to Murph Day, so that when you get to the pull-ups and when you get to the push-ups, you're not struggling anymore and you're ready to crush it. If you haven't already subscribed yet, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, share this with your friends, comment below with your time, and we're so pumped to do this with you. It's a community event that takes place all across the country. Let's crush it this year. Get after it.